Welcome to the Weather Gurus podcast for Sunday, February 18th, 2024. Please be sure to subscribe to the Weather Guru for the latest interpretation of the lower 48 weather that's going on. I appreciate your support and I read all of your comments. Now we're going to look at the national picture here, looking at the national radar, courtesy of the National Radar Weather Service here. And you can see it's a pretty quiet Sunday for most of the country here. There's snow showers in the Intermountain West here, a little bit of energy coming into California that's going to bring an atmospheric river of rain to some of the valleys and some of the high mountain passes as normal. And we also have rain in Florida. Now this may impact the Daytona 500. It's already impacting the Daytona 500 in Daytona Beach, Florida. But there's rain all up and down the I-95 corridor from Jacksonville to Flagler Beach to Orlando, the I-4 corridor, to Tampa, to Lakeland, all up and down. This will continue throughout much of the day here. Many areas are going to pick up between 2 and 3 inches of additional rainfall as this boundary here continues to sag south and eastward here. So that's been the big story here. Elsewhere, just the chilly temperatures from Dallas-Fort Worth all the way to Atlanta, up through the I-95 corridor from Washington, Philadelphia, New York, and Boston. And so the chilly temperatures will continue. However, it's about average in the next 6 to 10 day probability outlook. You can see that the temperatures are going to be above average in the Midwest, upper Midwest, the plains, and out in the Intermountain West, and it's going to be about average here for some parts of the Southeast and the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast. But we do have below average temperatures here forecasted for Florida here, so it's a chilly rain that's coming down. Temperatures going to be in 60 degrees Fahrenheit for Florida. That's pretty chilly for Orlando, Daytona Beach, Cape Canaveral, down through Naples, Tampa, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, and the Keys. So we're going to look at below average temperatures here, not just in Florida but in Georgia too. So if you're coming through Brunswick, Savannah, Columbia, Charleston, Florence, and into Wilmington, North Carolina, you will experience below average temperatures this Sunday, along with a chilly coastal rain and clouds. It's just not going to be a day to be doing anything outdoor activities. However, a warm-up is on the way after the next 10-day period here for the Southeast, and as well as other places as well. So we can see that here. We can see that in the last 24 hours, we picked up a bunch of rainfall here, probably on the order of 2 inches to 2 to 3 inches here. Some spots picked up more than that additionally here in the Florida Peninsula and also in the Panhandle. Now this is on top of the rain that they've been having for so many days as well. In the Northeast, you can see we picked up some snowfall here along the Pennsylvania New York border here. So some of the Finger Lakes picked up a few, maybe about an inch or two of snow still going on right now. And the highlands of Pennsylvania, north of the Pennsylvania Turnpike, I-80, and in New Jersey, of course, and Delaware picked up a few in Boston. And Connecticut picked up a few snow showers there today, as you can see here. And out west, of course, we have the atmospheric river slamming back into California. Northern California, Mount Shasta, Redding, Chico, north of the San Francisco Bay. Be very careful. There's a lot of rain falling here, as you can see. Up to 2-3 inches already have fallen here in the last 24 hours. And this will continue throughout the day Sunday here. And we also have to look at the forecast for the next couple of days here. You can see the model here. This is the ensemble model here, 500 millibar height. You can see that we have this chilly air that's entrained over the Northeast and also the Southeast. It's nothing crazy bitterly cold from Canada yet. However, that will be changing later on at the end of this month. But you can see the warm surge of air coming into next week, coming into the to the eastern 2/3 of the country. That's going to replace much of the cold air that we've been seeing here, and we're going to get back at it. But then we have a big dive of cold air, and this could be our next system here. Next Friday, we're going to be looking into a system that could bring some snow showers once again into the Northeast and Mid-Atlantic. This is going to be a big dive of cold air that's going to go all the way down to Florida, as you can see from Canada here. This comes in next Friday, the 23rd. As we end the month of February, we have one big shot of cold air, and this could be a big shot of snow for the Northeast as well as the Mid-Atlantic. And we have to watch maybe even be some lake enhancement here off of Lake Ontario and Lake Erie for places like Syracuse, Watertown, the I-90 New York Thruway corridor, as well as south of there. It may carry all the way down into the Mid-Atlantic from Washington, D.C., Baltimore, Pennsylvania, and some of the Appalachians, the spine of the Appalachians here in West Virginia. You might want to watch out for that next Saturday and Friday, the 23rd and 24th. There could be a snowstorm developing there and a major cold air coming in, whereas the wedging in the west continues here in the Midwest. As you can see here in the ensemble model shows this perfectly here. You can see a dip, a trough in the east and the ridge in the west here, and we kind of move away from the zonal flow and more into a more ridge and trough pattern that we've been seeing, where we get these short spasms, these bursts of snowfall in the east, and out west we get this rain, and then in between we get this surge of warm air here that rain just all the way up through the spine of I-35 from Dallas-Fort Worth to Oklahoma City through Wichita, Kansas, up through Omaha, Nebraska, and the Dakotas here. So we've been seeing that pattern continue. This will continue on now as we head toward the end of February. This will switch here. The last couple of days of February, the ensemble models and the EPS models anyway indicate that we will see a change to more zonal flow, but this is going to bring the below average temperatures into the Pacific Northwest, and that's going to spill over into the Rockies and the Plains. So we'll see if that plays out. That's too far down the road to have for certainty, but the models do indicate that the pattern is going to flip at the beginning of end of February and the beginning of March. So we're going to have warm near the average to above average temperatures for the eastern plains and Ohio Valley, into the Tennessee Valley, and also into the Northeast. So we'll see how that plays out if the models are correct. But that's what we're looking at now. As far as the National Weather Service hazards, we, of course, have California under that atmospheric river. They're going to be in that flood watch in green here, denoted in green, for the central San Joaquin Valley, all the way through San Francisco, Oakland, the East Bay, down through LA, Oxnard, Ojai, Lompoc, San Diego, and I-5, the PCH corridor, inland into San Bernardino and Riverside counties there. That's going to be extended there. So you can see we had that. We also have a winter weather advisory. Be careful if you're heading through some of the mountain passes here, east of the Santa Monica Mountains, into the, the mountains up there, east of I-15 in California. Now, we also have winter storm warnings in effect, obviously, for the higher elevation terrain. There's Sierra Nevada, Lake Tahoe, Bridgeport, Truckee, those areas. They may require change as you go up higher elevations there, so be very careful with that. But that's all we have going on. All in all, it's a pretty quiet Sunday, with the exception of that heavy rain in Florida Peninsula. It's been an all in all pretty good weather-wise day. It's just chilly. Now, we still have these rivers elevated here, so you want to be careful if you're doing any boating or fishing on some of these rivers here in the southeast. They're elevated. They're still under a flood warning here. They haven't crested yet, so be very careful if you're doing any fishing and boating on some of these rivers here in South Carolina, like this east of the Santee River and I-26, or in Georgia, I-95, the Altamahala River, south of Brunswick. Any of these rivers, and then in Florida, of course, the Apalachicola River, Lake Seminole. Be careful if you're fishing in some of these rivers here. Very dangerous right now, as they haven't crested yet. Now, and there's a brief winter weather advisory. This is, of course, for the extreme UP of Michigan. So you're from Marquette and Houghton, and then if you're also in the extreme western parts of New York and the Tug Hill Plateau, there is a winter weather advisory. Nothing crazy. Like I said, these are going to be just brief lake effect showers, bursts of snow squalls that could come across it. National Weather Service has warned us with that these snow squalls come across. They drop visibility to zero just for about 5 or 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and they pass on. Then the sun is back out. You guys are familiar with that, being up in that region. So just be on the mindful of that today as you head on out. Otherwise, things look clear in much of the country, besides that rain, like I said, in Florida and California, and we just have the cold temperatures, but we can deal with that. So that's been your update for Sunday. Have a blessed Sunday, and I look forward to seeing you again on another episode of the Weather Guru. Thank you for your support.